not far away. Mo Xiaosheng and others who were entangled with the woman surnamed Yi sighed leisurely. Knowing that nothing can be done at this moment, they underestimated the heritage of Dragon Cave Mountain. Thinking that Dragon Cave Mountain could kill the first batch of intruders, Xie family and others who came by relying on the power of restriction and formation, they never thought that even without restriction and formation, this small hill could not be humiliated at will. The four top-notch third-order void return stages experts looked at each other, and they all saw the retreat in each other's eyes. There is no need to discuss anything. When the strength reaches their level, a lot of information can be conveyed with just one look. The four of them make a fake move to get rid of the entanglement of the woman surnamed Yi, and fly away together. The four of them have evacuated. How can the others dare to stay again? Naturally, all hurried off. Qiantong and Fei Jitu did not stop their opponents. Although they helped Dragon Cave Mountain this time, they did not deliberately go to have enmity with those people. After all, they represent the Shadow Moon Palace, and they have many concern in their hearts. So just a little bit of contemplation, then let their opponent retreat safely. The same was true for Wei Gucheng and Dong Xuaner. It didn't take long for the two talents to be promoted to the first order void return stage, and their opponents were of good strength and wanted to leave. Naturally, they couldn't stop them. The reason why they are still fine up to now is because the opponents are merciful, and they have not really hit with intention to kill. Otherwise, with the number and methods of those opponents, the two will not be safe and will definitely suffer injury even if they do not die. The invading enemy retreated like a tide, and dozens of void return stage hurried away. Except for a few blocked by Yonkai's dragon bone sword, stone puppets and fiery bird item spirit were entangled, keeping the enemy from leaving. Yang Kai frowned, and a sense of powerlessness appeared deep in his heart. The enemy is going away. He also couldn't stop everyone. Although Dragon Cave Mountain was violated this time and he was greatly annoyed, but the other party also paid a painful price. This result is not unacceptable. Moreover, if the fight continues, there will be casualties on Dragon Cave Mountain. He and the woman surnamed Yi are nothing to worry about. He now has a dragon bone sword, a stone puppet, item spirit, and divine tree. The woman surnamed Yi is a person who can reach the sky. The only thing to worry about is Changqi and Haowen and others. The rabbit bites people when they are pressed without place to run. If they really let Changqi, Haowen and others fall here, it is not what Yang Kai wanted to see. Yang Kai is willing to let this storm end here, but it doesn't mean that others are willing to do the same. Just when those people were about to leave the range of Dragon Cave Mountain, the light of the shattered mountain guard was shining, but it turned on again, blocking their way forward. A look of surprise flashed in the eyes of Mo Xiaosheng and the others, and immediately their expressions became cold and severe. They will retreat just temporarily to avoid the edge. It does not mean that they are really afraid of Dragon Cave Mountain. Putting on a posture that is not willing to let go naturally makes them feel shameless and extremely annoyed. Want to go? Wishful thinking. My Dragon Cave Mountain is the place where you want to leave or come as you want. A soft shout suddenly came out. The source of the sound was erratic and seemed to be far away. It also seems to be close in front of them, making people unpredictable. But this voice is indeed Yang Yan. Yang Kai raised his brows and was extremely surprised, not knowing what Yang Yan wanted to do. Just as Yang Kai was astonished, the earth trembled suddenly, accompanied by a huge buzzing sound. The ground of Dragon Cave Mountain cracked one after another, and in an instant, the whole Dragon Cave Mountain became fragmented. Boom. There was a loud noise, and a certain piece of ground in Dragon Cave Mountain seemed to collapse suddenly, revealing a huge deep pit. Immediately, a black behemoth rose slowly from there. After seeing what the hell was this behemoth is, the exclamation sounded one after another. Everyone was stunned. Impossible. Battleship. There are warships here? Dragon Cave Mountain is destined to become the spotlight of the Shadowed Star today, and the shocking events brought to everyone one after another. Everyone has not recovered from the aftermath of the appearance of the remnant soul of the ancient Holy Spirit. At this moment, they have seen an incredible scene. In the underground of Dragon Cave Mountain, there has always been a warship hidden. That warship is not the same as the warships regarded as treasures by the major sects. The main reason is its volume. It does not look too large. It is only a dozen feet long, only about a quarter of the ordinary warship. The whole body is oval and smooth in shape. But this battleship exuded a heart-wrenching sense of oppression. Facing it was even more uncomfortable than facing the remnant soul of the true dragon. The sound of clicking sounded, and from the abdomen of the battleship, something like a barrel stretched out. The people present are not ignorant, and naturally know what it is. Crystal cannon. It is a destructive treasure that every warship will have. It can also be called a weapon. It uses the Saint Crystal as its energy source and is powerful. But in the free time, the battleship will not use the crystal cannon, because every time it is used, a large amount of Saint Crystal will be consumed. Generally speaking, a battleship can carry at most 2 or 3 crystal cannons, and crystal cannons are also known as the most powerful killing move of the battleship. But at this moment, looking around, the abdomen of the battleship, which was less than 10 feet long, suddenly extended more than 10 crystal cannons. The direction of aiming varies, but they are all locations with the densest crowds. Looking at the dark barrel, everyone felt a sense of uneasiness, as if the breath of death rushed toward them. The giggles of laughter resounded throughout the world, like an ecstatic rhythm, and Yang Yan's voice came out, "Since all of you are here, don't even think about leaving." When the voice fell, the dazzling light appeared in the dozen or so crystal cannons, and the energy fluctuations that caused the world to shudder came from there. Not good. Mo Xiaosheng and the others condensed their eyes and exclaimed, "Quickly disperse." With his eyesight and insight, he can naturally perceive the power that could destroy the world and the earth in this crystal cannon. Although the shouting was timely, the attack speed of the warship refined by Yang Yan was extremely fast. Almost at the same time as Mo Xiaosheng's voice sounded, dozens of pure white beams of light with only the thickness of a human arm began coming out from the crystal gun. There was no sound, no screams, no struggle, and no resistance. Everything passed by the dozens of slender beams of light went into nothingness. Not only the guarding formation of Dragon Cave Mountain was broken again, but even the cultivators who was blocked by it like a snowflakes under the scorching sun, disappeared instantly. The dozens of pure white light beams rushed out dozens of miles away, gradually weakened and disappeared. The entire Dragon Cave Mountain was in a mess, and the world's spiritual energy was extremely chaotic. Tick-tick. There was a crisp sound, and Mo Xiaosheng and others stood there with pale faces, staring at the warship that turned out in amazement, almost unable to believe their eyes. When this warship appeared strangely just now, they hadn't paid much attention to it. After all, the size of this warship was not large. They subconsciously believed that this warship was not high grade, but when the dozen crystal artillery came out, Mo Xiaosheng realized that he was probably wrong. Until then, he realized that he has made a big mistake. The grade of this warship has exceeded his imaginable category. It is definitely not a Void grade, and it is absolutely comparable to the Void King grade, otherwise the power of the crystal cannon would not be as powerful as that. Void King grade battleship. How can that be? But the facts were in front of him, and he couldn't help but doubt anything. Because a beam of crystal cannon beams were directed at them just now, Mo Xiaosheng and the other 4 top Void Return Stages expert did not dare to hold against it, and could only evade an embarrassment. In this way, Xianxia of the Demon Blood sect was also wiped half of his body. Now his entire arm has disappeared. The ticking sound is exactly the movement of blood dripping from his wound. The whole face was distorted in pain. The faces of Lady Feng and Chang Pengxuan were also extremely ugly. If it wasn't for their speed just now, they would definitely end up like Jin Shi. Looking around again, Mo Xiaosheng looked sad. Because at this time and moment, there are only a dozen people still alive, and at least 50 or 60 of them died under the attack of the volley of crystal cannons just now. That was 50 or 60 Void Return Stage, not 50 or 60 cabbages. They were the main force of the major sects, and now they unknowingly died in Dragon Cave Mountain. Mo Xiaosheng and the others are heartbroken. If possible, the strong powerhouses of the major forces would rather not set foot on this hill today, but unfortunately it is too late to regret if people can't come back to life after death. The strong not only suffered heavy losses but also forged such a powerful enemy. For a moment, the faces of several strong men who are still alive were sullen. Let's go. Mo Xiaosheng bit his teeth and didn't want to stay anymore. When his figure was shaking, he used the power of Space Force and left quickly. Cheng Pingxuan, Jinqi, and Old Lady Feng. How could they dare to stay? They're all afraid that the opponent's battleship will fire another volley of crystal cannons, one by one, running faster than the rabbit. This time, Yang Yan didn't stop them anymore, because she was also powerless. Although the battleship was good, it was not omnipotent. The volley of crystal guns just now seemed uninspiring, but in fact it was very expensive. With a scream, Yang Kai killed his last opponent, and with a stroke of his hand, the cyan dragon turned into a green sword and returned to his hand. Looking down for a moment, showing a satisfied look, he threw it into the refining furnace again and put it into his body. The entire Dragon Cave Mountain was quiet at this moment, with only a dozen-foot-long warship suspended in midair. And this mountain, which is originally full with spiritual energy, after experiencing an incredible battle, is now devastated and dilapidated. The stone puppet changed back to its original appearance, didn't know where the heaven-shaking pillar gone to. But it should have been swallowed into its stomach. At this moment, he used his hands and feet together, and ran to Yang Kai like an ape, and climbed up to Yang Kai along his clothes. Then land on his shoulder, and there was a slight smile on its face. Turning his head and looking around, Yang Kai sighed. Since he came to the Dark Star, he have settled down on this Dragon Cave Mountain, and it has been several years now. It has been beautifully run by Yang Yan and Wu Yi, but now, it is undoubtedly not suitable for living any longer. Fortunately, Yang Kai still has a place to go, so he didn't feel any regrets. That place was much better than Dragon Cave Mountain. He had intent to move everyone there before, and this incident happened to be a good opportunity. To be continued.